This is Tranisha Cottrell. Welcome to First Love Yourself, the place where Christ meets self love, self care, and healing. Today we're going to talk about being more confident. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and relax and grab your pen and paper because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay, so earlier today I was reading the Bible and it was talking about how Paul was being more confident in God than he was in seeking the approval of other people. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's straight bars. Like, we could really learn from Peter. I mean, we could really learn from Paul and Peter too. But we could really learn from Paul because how many of y'all been ratchet as Paul was and like really been in this life, like in the world? Let me go ahead and set this computer right here because I keep on moving too much. And I don't want you to be trying to watch the video while you're moving all around. But listen, I feel like we can learn so much from Paul because Paul was Saul before. He was going after people who believed in the way and the only way. He was part of the people who were going after people who were Christians, who were believers, who were really trying to live a better life, trying to be better people. He really was that person out here just taking people out. You know what I'm saying? And so if God could get through to Paul, changing him from Saul and giving him a new name, Paul, how much more do you think God can do for you? And it's really all about confidence and what we truly believe in. When you really believe in yourself and you really believe that you know who you are and whose you are, it gives you like this extra swagger that you didn't know that you had inside of you before. Like, people might be telling you stuff like, oh, you this person, or you're that person, or oh, you never know, have the information, or you know how they are. Like, when they really try to put a title or a specific like qualification or quality or characteristic trait on you, sometimes it's easy to conform into societal standards or what other people tell you you are instead of remembering who God says that you are. I think it's important for us to really acknowledge all of the things that God says about us in the Bible. And the thing that I did at the beginning of this self love, self care journey was look up all of the promises of God. What are things that God says about me? No matter what anyone else says about me or who other people think that I am, who is it that God says that I am? And when I started to look up the things, this is why in a lot of these videos I say, you are a royal priesthood, you are a holy nation, you are blessed coming and blessed going, the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. You are more than a conqueror. When I started to see what God says that I am, when I started to know that I'm a chosen person, when I started to know that God really cares about me more than the lilies of the field, He clothed the lilies of the field, so I know I will have clothes on my back. When I know that He fed the creatures, when I know that He created everything and took the time to create me and really made me see how special God thinks that I am, and all of us are special in the same way. You have to believe that you are special so that you know who you are. So when other people come into your life, they can't manipulate you into being somebody else or train you into being someone that they want you to be. You really have to stand 10 toes down in faith. And I know some people be like, 10 toes down in faith. Yeah, just like you 10 toes down in the game that's playing on Super Bowl. Just like you 10 toes down when you was out in these streets. Just like you 10 toes down when you was worried about all these people that you could try to be with because you wanted to try to seek some sort of fulfillment. Just when you was out here living hot girl summer. Just like you was out here when you give all that energy at a concert, but then you go to church all quiet. Like the same way that we be doing that, it's the same energy. We need to keep that same energy towards God. And it didn't freeze. I just stopped right there to like allow people to ponder their thoughts because sometimes when you say things like that, people need a moment because it's a lot. And so I really want you to take in that moment to really acknowledge where you are in your journey in your faith. Like, are you in a place where you want to be? Do you want to be better? Do you want to be closer to God? Are you trying to learn more about the Bible? And yes, there are great, amazing pastors out here, especially online now, since the pandemic and everything else. And I don't know if you could say that word because I know that's probably like a trigger word on YouTube. But listen, I really want you to take a moment to really just think about where you want to be in your journey. Like, build your own relationship with God. It's good to watch those sermons online and to use the power of discernment to take in the things that you need, what God is truly saying for you. Like, 2025 is not going to be everybody's year if you're not seeking God first. If you, I'm losing my voice, and apparently God don't want me to go in too deep. So, if you out here seeking everybody's opinion but God, you might be going in the wrong direction. If you are listening to what somebody is telling you online or in person more than you're listening to the word of God, then you're going the wrong direction. If you got that best friend that you lean on before you go to God, you might want to reposition God's position in your life. You might want to put him back at the head, at the top, to be the first thing that you seek. When you about to get an attitude and you in traffic, ooh, that's the thing that bless my spirit. When you in traffic and that car is driving slow and they slam on brakes in front of you and you ready to like go back to the person that you used to be because you done forgot you was saved for a second. When you go back, you just got to remember to put God at the forefront of your mind so that things like that don't trigger you. And a part of that is unhealing. That's something in your system and your body that wasn't healed that's making you think that, oh, okay, the first thing I need to do is catch an attitude because I got time today. You might have time, but you are wasting your time giving that energy towards something that does not serve you. It's gonna feel good for a moment. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh no, it's gonna feel horrible when you do it. It might feel good. You might be like, yeah. And another thing. But listen, that might not be the best way to react to something like that. That might not be the best response to give somebody, because sometimes some people just want more of your energy. Sometimes people are having a bad day. They lost somebody. Something is going on in their life. We don't know what's happening with them. We don't know if something fell on the floor underneath, like the water bottle rolled underneath the brake or something, or underneath the gas pedal, and they were trying to get it. And before they could reach it, it slammed on brakes. We don't know if they have faulty brakes or something. We don't know if there was a kid that like was messing with them or threw a bottle or something, and it went right across them and they needed to gather themselves to get themselves back together. And some people are going to say, why didn't they pull over? You don't know when a kid going to have a moment. Like sometimes we have moments and we don't know what's going on. Like this kid is trying to mature to become better. And speaking of childhood, also in the Bible, a lot of people get confused when it says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. And they're saying, put away childish things, right? How can you be childlike, that it says in the Bible to be childlike in faith, but then also be putting away those childish things? Well, when you're going through life, it does not mean that you're immature in your faith. It means that you believe. Like when you were a kid, there was something that you really truly believed that you could do. Like maybe you wanted to be a fashion model, an international fashion model, and interpreter, and you just had all a list of long things that you wanted to do. An archaeologist, an astronomer. I don't know what your thing was, right? And life happened. And all of a sudden, you started going after practical jobs. You started going after things that would just be something that would sustain time, or you think that would be substantial in your life because you feel like your dreams really don't matter, or a lot of people don't become that thing. Well, if God put it on your heart for you to be that thing, and that's still something that's deep inside of you that you really want to happen in your life, that you want to come to fruition, don't give up on your dreams unless God is directing you somewhere else. I really challenge you to put your confidence in yourself. Put your confidence in God first and then have confidence in yourself. Like really go to God in prayer and say, God, what is it that you want for me to do in my life? Sometimes we want stuff so badly that we know it's not good for us. Like I used to want to do, I'm trying to think of something right off the dome, but I can't think of anything. And I don't know where dome came from. I haven't used that since high school, but that tells you how old I am. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I used to really want to be in this one position in my life, and I wanted this job. Here's a good one. I wanted this job so badly when I was like really fresh into the world. And you know, when you're in the world, I'm thinking I just get a good job, pay bills, the end. I didn't know you could work jobs that you like and don't like. There would be people who are mean to you or nice to you. There would be people that treat you this way or another way. And there's other things that may go into the position. And so I was just like, oh yeah, I'll work a job, the end. And if I have this specific job, I will have made it. This is everything that I need in my life. I don't need to do anything else. And I wanted it when I was so immature. If God had given me that job 10 years prior to the time that I had asked God for it, Oh my gosh, I would probably been fired. Not because I was a problem starter, but because I was immature. I wouldn't have been able to handle the responsibility. A lot of the tools that I learned in retail jobs and other positions in my life that I really truly didn't want to be in are the things that taught me a lot of management skills that I apply to my position now. But I would have never gained that experience if I wasn't on God's timing. It's something about God's timing. And PMJ said something this morning, Pastor Mike Jr. In his sermon, he was talking about how sometimes we'll say we're waiting on God's timing when God is waiting on us. And you can look at that both ways in my story. I was waiting on God, like, God, I really want this position. I really want this job. Can you give me this job? Give me this job. And I was not ready for it. But when I was ready, when I was mature enough, when I really had faith like a child, when I really believed that God could do anything, and I started to mature my mindset and become more emotionally intelligent and learn how to lead in the right ways and take those management skills into the position that I was in, then I became better. I became ready. God was waiting on me the whole time. If I had found God sooner, if I had really had wanted to learn how to be more emotionally mature sooner, I could have had that position in year one. I could have had that position in year five. I probably wouldn't have had to wait to 10 years. And when I think of stories like that, it makes me think of Moses and how he freed the people and they wandered for 40 years and they were right there at it. They could have been there at any moment, but God was waiting on them. Sometimes we are the person standing in our way, standing in the way of the things that God wants to give us. When we pray for stuff, God's already wrapping it up, ready to send it to us. He's like, "You're my child. You're obedient. You love me. I love you. I want to give you the things that bring joy to your life." God is not trying to hold stuff back from you like that husband that you want, that job that you want, that thing that you've been praying for just to be mean to you. He's holding it back because you might not be there emotionally yet. You might not be the type of woman that can handle being in a relationship yet. You might not be mature enough for that man. If God has this man that's like the things that you prayed for, he really would treat you like Christ loves the church. And you out here like just cursing people out, saying you got time today for the people in traffic, and you just got all the attitude in the world. God's probably not going to send you his son that will treat you amazingly, because when you get into it with him, or y'all disagree because you're going to have a difference of opinions, you're going to feel beside yourself. You're going to start to be immature in your communication skills, and that would not be a blessing to that man. That would be more of a curse. That's like the women out here. If you ready and you've been in your word and you really are emotionally intelligent, and God sends this man that's not ready for a relationship, it's gonna be a curse, not a blessing. And sometimes we'll be like, God, why? Why is it taking so long? Why is this? Why is that? Have you done all the things that you need to do? Are you really working on your mind, your body, and your soul? Are you really pouring into yourself? And not because it's cliche and that's what everybody says, but because you becoming a better person will allow those things to come to you sooner. When you really take the time for yourself. When you really love yourself, people don't have no choice but to love you, because they're like, oh, I can't not love her. Like, she already loves herself. Why would I want to give her something that she doesn't already have? But when you don't love yourself and you expect somebody else to love you, nobody can fill that void. That's something that you have to fill up first so that other people can just add to it. When they come in your life, it will be a bonus. It will not be a completion. God completed you when he made you. That is just extra. That's like the accessory onto the outfit. The outfit already looked bad, but the accessory is like, oof. If you're trying to have favor in your life, that kingdom spouse is going to just elevate the whole thing. Y'all just got favor all over y'all. Y'all looking all good, shining, just getting, and it's not just about money, but y'all getting more, the money going up, the body going up, the mind going up, the partnership, you guys being together to fight spiritual warfare, all of the things that you aspire to have in your life, you get that when you build confidence within yourself, which is why it's so important to build confidence. It starts with you. You believing in yourself changes everything. Remember that God got you. While you out here feeling alone, know that God's right there with you every step of the way. You'll never have to go through anything by yourself. And remember to love yourself. Bye.